Buenas, aquí SplinterG en un nuevo gameplay de NOIRE. Vamos con nuestro primer caso en el área de homicidios, ya que nos ascendieron. Veamos qué misión nos tiene este juego, 6 meses después. El caso del labios. Espero que se me esté escuchando bien. Sí, en teoría sí. Creo que está un poquito más fuerte, pero... así es sádico. Jesús, mierda.
All right, gentlemen, take your seats. Let's get this over before lunch. Floyd Rose at the homicide squad has decided to take early retirement. We will all miss Floyd and the steely edge he brought to his police work. The department has arranged a wee drink at the Galway Arms to quench the mighty thirst a man gets from 25 years of police work. Floyd's departure leaves a place at the top table, and the chief has seen fit to promote Cole Phelps from burglary to the homicide desk. Stand up, Phelps. Take a cheer. You're in the major leagues now, Sonny. Rusty Galloway, a fine lawman of the old school, will be taking you under his wing. Your first case is the murder of a woman, found last night and bearing all the signs of the werewolf. Get out to the scene, lads.
Okay. Nuevo objetivo, investiga el escenario de Moores. Sospechoso,
She was 13 if she was a day.
Do you have the address?
It's been all over.
Bájalo un poquito, sí. Según yo está muy fuerte, güey. Sonido, música. Efectos 1. Diálogos 1. Yo creo que con eso está bien.
KGPL.
Y obviamente,
Between Belmont and Glendale.
déjame pasar, weón. Pero weón, no te crucé. Y obviamente como me ascendieron y me cambiaron de departamento, el de homicidios, me cambiaron de compañero, ya que me ascendieron a mí nomás, no a mi anterior compañero. Eso.
What happened to Rose?
Parker wants the chief's job. Word is it's either going to be him or Thad Green. So they're both clearing the decks.
So where does that leave you, Galloway?
Leaves me saddled with a chump like you, Phelps. I didn't ask for you and I don't want you, so keep it to yourself. See if you can learn something about seeing how a real cop operates.
What did he mean by the werewolf?
Medallion. The Daily News came out calling him the werewolf killer. The Examiner came up with the Black Dahlia.
We any closer to catching him?
Not a chance. 6 months and hundreds of guys running down leads and we got nothing.
You don't think this has anything to do with it?
No, I don't. 90% of murders are domestic, Phelps. Some guy gets into a beef with his wife, he takes it too far. Should be the same. But cutting someone in half and leaving them off the sidewalk, that's a one-off.
Why so many women this year?
Because of the war. You should know that. Guy gets to kill people every day in combat. Comes home, he's expected to take lip from his wife. What do you think's gonna happen?
It's that simple.
Like I said, most of the time it is.
Cuatro igual, lo que le provoca las guerras a los weones. Que han cagado la cabeza, weón.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother, asshole? A sister? How about showing some respect for this poor woman? Let us do our job, and Detective Galloway will give you a statement later.
He's good, Rusty. He even sounds genuine.
That's Phelps, guys. The war hero. Defending the honor of murdered humps.
You're used to it, Phelps. Move it along, guys. You got your pictures, you got your headlines. Now scram.
Lo arrastró. Uno. Oye, esto no sé si se podrá mostrar en Twitch o YouTube, weón. Esperemos que no haya problemas con esto, weón. Vamos a mostrar la inclusión al toque. No, no se puede, gracias.
Patrolman, this your beat?
Yes, sir. Well, part of it. Kids park here, they use it like a lover's lane. It's a working neighborhood. Some trouble, but nothing like this. It's known locally as the Moors.
You were first on the scene?
Yes, detective.
No one's disturbed the body?
No, sir. We cleared out them vulture reporters so Pinker and the coroner could work. They're waiting to talk to you.
Go house to house and see what you come up with.
Ya. Veamos.
Any ideas?
First things first. Better speak to the reporting patrolman and Mal Carruthers.
What can you tell me about the shoe prints?
Men's size 8s. Pinker lifted impressions for me to compare back at the lab.
No. ¿Y esta sangre? No se puede escanear.
The victim's bag? Looks brand new. Can't be the one used on the body.
Pinta labios. No. A ver, ¿qué tenemos acá?
Looks like some kind of puzzle or parlor game.
Chucha. Propiedad del Club Bamba de 626
Bamba
en
Club.
North
Why
Spring.
steal a table
Ya.
later?
Estaba acá en el mechero, sí. Está bonito. Y alguna otra pista por acá, por acá. ¿Qué tenemos?
Not everything here is going to be relevant.
Pero igual hay que investigar todo. Conchetumare.
Doesn't look like anything. Don't think this is any use to us.
Ok. Nada más entonces.
Has the
Ahora.
scene been secured?
Patrolman Houlihan saw to it. The victim's personal effects are still where they fell.
Cause of death?
Veamos.
It could be the head injuries. She has been badly stomped. The cuts look superficial.
What caused the blunt force injury to the face?
Could be anything from a baseball bat to a lug wrench. I'll have more details after the autopsy.
Que te den.
Interesting. What about this wound on the finger?
Tenía un
Something
anillo,
removed.
¿no?
A ring, most likely.
Mm.
I assume it was taken post-mortem.
Claro, quizá la niña tenía el nombre de alguien. Para el mismo esposo, weón. Y para que no den con ella el nombre del esposo. O sea que me refiero a que quizás está en el anillo el nombre del weón.
What does the writing on the victim mean?
BD, like Dahlia? Tex? Your guess is as good as mine. Could be something to it, or it could be the killer's trying to throw you off the scent.
También.
Either way, I'll run tests on the lipstick.
Any idea of the time of death?
From the temperature, I'd say after midnight. I'll confirm with you later.
Can we get to the bomba? A man could die of thirst in a case like this.
This equipment is valuable, and so is my time. Leave me alone.
Cuidadito, weón de mierda. ¿Qué es esto?
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Para allá, po, boludo.
The werewolf?
For my money, a copycat.
We can't rule it out. We need to work the evidence.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? Big head to hang on the wall. Caller of the decade. You've been working evidence on BD case for 6 months and got nicks.
There's a difference, Rusty.
Oh, yeah?
I just started working it today.
Okay, hotshot. What's more likely? The werewolf comes back around, leaving us unknown in a corpse?
He clearly has a thing for power. Power over women. Why not power over the police department as well?
Let me finish, Phelps. A guy opens his mouth again after 6 months of stewing. There's some opportunist who's been reading about the BD figures. He'll rip off the MO and get himself a freebie.
That's not totally fantastical.
You know, the Examiner and the Daily News might be good at coming up with monikers, but they're terrible at police work. There's a reason we didn't get the son of a bitch after the short murder was them, locusts.
Where do you think the werewolf killer is now?
Dead by his own hand, stationed somewhere else with the armed forces. San Quentin, another town, another country, who knows? So, Phelps, I understand you want to turn this into a big case, but it doesn't work like that, all right? A case will come and find you. You can't make it something it ain't, understand?
So you don't think the werewolf has continued to operate in the Los Angeles area?
No chance. We would have found him.
Qué cuático los casos de esta jugada, weón. No sé si serán basados en casos reales de allá en Estados Unidos o simplemente se los sacaron del culo los de Rockstar, weón. Junto con el Team Bundy. Está muy bueno, weón. Está entretenido, weón. Club Bamba.
I got a call back for that Universal Chorus line.
Gentlemen, what can I get you?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. Were you working here last night?
Yes. How can I help, officer?
You can start with your name.
Garrett Mason.
You're the regular bartender on nights?
I'm a temporary barman. I work for an agency. I fill in at bars across town.
Do you remember a woman who came in here last night? 5'7", about 110 pounds, blonde hair, about 40 years of age.
You mean Celine Henry?
Yes. Do you know anything about her?
I don't. But the owner, Mr. McCall, serves her most nights. Would you like to speak to him?
I would.
He sits at the back of the club. Wears a hibiscus. You can't miss him. Is there anything else?
Inquire away, Phelps. I'll stay here. I'm a little parched. Pour me 3 fingers of rye.
I think he's a bit of a gangster. He treats me nice.
My eggs were running. Detective Phelps, LAPD. We're investigating the murder of Celine Henry. Do you know her?
Celine? You going to pay for that?
Christ. Sure I know her. She and I and
officer.
Jacob, her husband, we go way back.
She was here last night?
Sure, she's a regular. Celine was a lovely woman.
Was Mrs. Henry here with anyone last night?
Not at first. Celine already had quite a head start.
But she attracted attention?
Certainly. A few gentlemen became very enamored with her and her stories. One guy in particular.
Duda.
How about a name? This is a murder beef, McCall. You don't want any adverse publicity for this place, do you?
Ay, Dios mío.
If I had names, I would give them to you. I like Celine. I'd like to see you get whoever did this.
Mala, weón.
Clear on that?
Da la weá. Viene la weá.
Mrs. Henry appeared to be missing a ring, torn from her finger, but not her wedding finger.
Celine always wore a red garnet ring on the large side. Larger than life, like Celine herself.
Este quizás tenía una aventura con ella. El esposo la pilló y la mató.
Did her husband buy it for her?
No, it was before Jacob.
Duda.
I think you know where the ring came from, and I think you're gonna tell me.
Okay, I bought it years ago. I carried a torch for Celine in those days. Guess I always have. Her old man never knew about it.
Conocimiento del marido.
You know the husband?
Sure I know Jacob. He was in the Corps. He met Celine on a furlough and married her when the war was finished. He put up with a load of shit.
Do you think he killed his wife?
No. No, not in my opinion.
So if it wasn't Jacob, then you probably let her out of here with the guy who killed her. How do you feel about that?
Stow the attitude, will ya? I tried to get onto Jacob. I rang him up, asked him to come pick her up like usual. But he refused. And she picked some night to push him over the edge. I rang him back around 11:30, but got no answer.
McCall, you said you liked her, and yet you've been no help at all. I want Celine's address.
142 North Union. Now get the hell out of my bar.
Where's that goddamn...
Hijo de la shitty. Investiga la casa de Celine Henry.
A waitress.
Bueno, yo siempre quería tener de esto cuando tenga mi casa, bueno, muy bonito, bueno.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, what's the hurry? My stool was just starting to warm up nicely.
Say, honey, what time do you get off waiting table?
You're behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Para allá vamos, boludo.
You find the booze helps you get through a working day?
Sharpens my investigatory instincts, Phelps.
A smart lawyer might use that to throw out anything you collect today.
A smart man might know it's unwise to stand between the patient and his medicine.
As long as you're not falling over, Rusty, I'll let it slide.
That's mighty kind of you, Phelps. You know, you picked the wrong job if a healthy thirst offends you, Cole.
We owe it to this city to do the best we can in this position. As homicide detectives, that responsibility is all the more serious.
Always the politician.
It's not political, it's practical. Maybe the men combing Hollywood Boulevard after the Elizabeth Short murder were more interested in sniffing out booze than the clues that would have led to her killer.
Yeah, well, if only you'd been there, choir boy. Betty Short would be alive, the Japs would have spared Pearl Harbor, our ancestors wouldn't have tasted the forbidden fruit.
Minor syntactical error, Detective Galloway. I never claimed to be able to prevent crimes. I only suggested a proficiency in solving them. Guess that's the drink slowing you down.
Oh my God, brother, oh brother. Worse than I could ever have imagined.
Eso no da el cuello. Estoy entero crujiente. Rico y crujiente, bueno. Ese corte lo digo.
I'll try the back door. Wait here a second.
Se va a arrancar apuesto. Ventana abierta. ¿O no? Está rota.
Side window's been jimmied. Looks like somebody's creeped the joint.
Investiguemos, a ver qué tenemos por acá. Otro diario. Vamos a ver la noticia.
You said I had to go back, Doctor.
The fires are cathartic. They allow you to confront your past.
You said the house would be empty.
Are you taking the medication I have prescribed?
You said the house would be empty. I heard them screaming.
Circumstances were unfortunate. My colleagues had made all the necessary
You
arrangements.
said the house would be empty. You're killing me.
The deaths were unfortunate, but you have dealt with death before.
I want you to come to the clinic and we can deal with it. You said the house would be empty. How can I find peace?
Yeah, a ver. Haciendo clic en todos lados, no.
Nope. Size 9s. Above average for a lady.
La verdad es que sí, weón. Qué volada tipa, weón. Era gigante, weón.
Nothing significant.
Vidrios rotos.
Burglar used the pry bar. Why did you kick the door in?
You think I'm gonna climb through a broken window in a $30 suit? You got another thing coming, Buster.
¿Qué tenemos acá? Si se te pasa la borrachera estaré en Jacob.
Celine and Jacob are obviously having problems. It speaks to motive.
Crime scene evidence still weighs against it being the husband, but Jacob could give us something to go on. One of my exes drank like this, you'd be feeling the back of my hand.
Call in burglary and get technical services out here. I'll talk to the neighbors.
Don't take all day about it, Phelps. I'll get nasty when I'm thirsty.
Hay que preguntarle a los vecinos. Ya.
Galloway, homicide, badge number 564. Requesting technical services for a suspected 459 at 142 North Union.
Tiffany? The rest of the stuff is junk. Might explain the missing ring.
Joya desaparecida. A ver, ¿qué tenemos?
A A regular Amelia Earhart in her day. The ring looks distinctive.
Maybe. No.
No hay nada acá.
This isn't what we're looking for.
Ya. Entonces hay que investigar a los vecinos. Ah, pero acá no he investigado. Por acá no hay nada.
I knew it wasn't safe around here anymore.
LAPD. Are you acquainted with Celine Henry, Miss?
Horgan! Jennifer Horgan. I've known Celine for more than 10 years. Our children grew up together. What's going on, officer?
Did you see Mrs. Henry go out last night?
Well, I'm no busybody, you understand, but Celine had been drinking. And she and poor, long-suffering Jacob had a terrible row. I think Jacob may have given her a black eye. He stormed out and she went back inside.
Did he come back?
No. Celine was listening to music and shouting until she left around 10 p.m. She was very drunk to have been driving. But she is not the sort of person you can stop from doing something when her dander is up. What is this about, officer? Is Celine all right?
I'm afraid Mrs. Henry has been murdered, ma'am.
Murdered? Oh, my God. I'm afraid I need to go and sit down.
¿Se puede investigar?
Please. I'm too upset.
A ver, investigamos por acá, quizá hay algo, ¿no? Nada.
Let's see what Jacob has to say for himself.
I don't think Jacob is our man, but we should see what he has to say.
Vamos entonces, pues, ¿no?
You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Al apartamento de Jacob.
Jacob Henry had a violent argument with his wife last night. He's looking more and more likely.
For my money, if the broad keeps the house looking like that, she probably deserved it. Skipper says bring him in and keep the hacks off our backs for a while.
Fine by me.
So it ain't the werewolf killer after all. Good to see you come to your senses, Cole.
I always said work the evidence. I only stipulated a connection to the BD killer as an avenue of investigation we should leave open. And as far as I'm concerned, it still is.
Okay, Phelps, we go in hard. You follow my lead. You Jacob Henry?
Yeah. Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh, my
for
God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
she's-
We're gonna have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Tiene como cara de Perkin, ¿no? Como de pavo, no sé.
I get even the slightest hint that you're a flight
Doesn't tell
risk,
me
pal.
anything.
You think the atmosphere's thick in here? Wait till you try the gas chamber. He'll be back in a moment. Just sit tight.
Necesito que hagas algo en
The
relación con
oldest
mi
problem there
esposa.
is what to do about the old lady.
Mandó a alguien entonces.
Circumstantial.
Ya. Se iba a ir. 40,
Size 11s.
46 muy grande, el otro era 41. Ya, entonces mandó a alguien. Definitivamente mandó a alguien. Ya. Movimientos de la
So who could
víctima.
have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
We get the impression that Celine liked to live the glamorous life. How did she end up with a hump like you, Jacob?
Celine was one of the first woman pilots. She hung out with movie stars and royalty. But when she came back here broke and struggling, she married a mechanic. Put a roof over her head, food on the table. Not glamorous, but the best I could do. I'm not ashamed about that.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Last night. I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
Duda porque le pegó.
And how are we meant to believe that, Jacob? It isn't looking good for you.
That nosy bitch from next door, Janie Horgan. She'll tell you I left. And what time.
Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
Aquí duda.
You went to her house,
Pero
fought, you beat
hermano.
her, she left, and then you followed her.
¿Podré cargar, weón? Se va a guardar en el proceso anterior, weón. Lo voy a hacer de nuevo, weón. Puta, qué paja, weón. O sea, se supone que se había guardado antes, weón. Voy a empezar desde ahí donde se guardó, weón. Ay, Dios mío. 34 minutos.
Okay, Phelps, we go in
Ya.
hard. You follow my lead.
Primeros partidos de acá, weón.
You Jacob Henry?
Yeah. Who's asking?
LAPD. You're under arrest for the murder of your wife, Celine Henry.
Murder? Celine?
Save the dramatics
Oh, my
for
God.
RKO, pal. You got bigger problems.
What the hell are you talking about? You come in here, you tell me that Celine is...
Take a seat, Mr. Henry.
That she's...
We're gonna have a look around, then we'll talk.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
I get even the slightest hint that you're a flight risk, pal. You think the atmosphere's thick in here? Wait till you try the gas.
The oldest problem there is what to do about the old lady.
No good to me.
He'll be back in a moment. Just sit tight.
Size 11s. So who could have killed Celine? Where did she go last night, Jacob?
A bar, I suppose. Look, I don't know.
We know that she drinks, Jacob. Drunks have regular haunts, places they feel relaxed.
Celine did most of her drinking at home. She didn't have many friends left. Not many alcoholics do. Not real friends, anyway.
When did you last see your wife, Mr. Henry?
Parece que todas son
Last
mentiras,
night.
weón.
I went to see her. We talked. Things got a little out of hand. I left.
That's a lie, and you know it. You tailed her, watched her come out of a bar, and then beat her to death. Admit it, Henry.
Why would I do that, Detective?
Problemas maritales, weón.
My wife was a drunk. It was a sickness with her.
No.
Doesn't mean I didn't love her. Would you stop loving your wife if she was unwell?
No, I wouldn't. Why did you kill her, Jacob? Things will go better if you come clean about it.
That's a lousy thing to say. I never gave up on my wife.
I don't believe you, Jacob. I think you didn't have the guts to do it yourself, so you had someone else do it.
You want to back that up with something, Big Mouth? Huh?
The note by the phone suggests you meant her harm.
You want the truth? Truth is, I was sick to death of her. I was trying to have her committed.
So you can prove that you came back here after you left your wife's place.
I came back here. I was here all night. Start work at 6:30. Not the going out type.
You called the bar to give yourself an alibi. Then you went after her, beat her, dumped her in a park. I think you are a sack of shit, Jacob.
You're not going to pin Celine's death on me. I'll take a lie detector test to prove it. take all that back, you fresh-faced little punk.
We're still gonna need you to come downtown, Mr. Henry.
We can get this all down on paper, Jacob. How you got fed up with your wife and how you figured killing her would bury all your troubles.
Kill my own wife?
She was a lush and a tramp, and you just couldn't stand it anymore.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
So now you're gonna tell me you loved her? Ah, the DA goes all gooey over remorse, Jacob.
Mira, el cochino culiao.
Okay. You're awful hot under the collar for an innocent man, Mr. Henry.
What's this bump?
Pero hermano, ¿cómo era que se...? Esquivar con... ya.
Call it in and get a squad car dispatched. And check for messages. I'll keep old Slugger here company.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a patrol unit to transport a suspect back to Central.
Certainly, Detective.
Any messages for me?
Yes, Detective. In regards to the Celine Henry
No caigo en
homicide,
eso.
the owner of the Turkey Bowl
En esa
restaurant at
cosa lo víboro.
1535 West 3rd Street says the victim was at his restaurant last night.
Turkey Bowl Restaurant. We'll check it out.
You have a message from the coroner. Do you wish to be put through?
Yes, ma'am.
Carruthers,
It's Phelps.
I've completed the autopsy. Several wounds to the head from a blunt metal instrument. Closest match would be a socket wrench handle.
So the cause of death was the blunt...
No,
No
the
tiene.
blows to the head surprisingly were not fatal. Death was from hemorrhage and shock from the fractured ribs and multiple injuries caused by the stomping.
Anything else?
He's some kind of sex fiend. The tissues of the anus were bruised about 1/8 of an inch, but no trace of semen in the anus, vagina, or stomach.
Thanks, Doc.
Para yo.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Carruthers said she took a real pounding.
Maybe if he had been a little firmer in the beginning, he wouldn't be in this situation now.
I imagine that Neanderthal routine is a big hit with the ladies, Galloway.
Women love me, Phelps. I have no complexity. They know exactly what they're gonna get.
Quiero ver algo. Voy a subir estos autos porque me dan la hueá en la hora esto. De 95 son caletes de auto, bueno. Y este ya lo había usado.
He wants a 5-star goddamn wedding. This is a tasty burger.
LAPD, Phelps and Galloway. We're working a murder case. Mrs. Celine Henry, you called in?
Yeah, the name's Jonesco. This is my place.
You saw Mrs. Henry in here last night?
Until about 1 a.m., having dinner with a friend.
Doing more drinking than eating.
You got that straight.
Mrs. Henry was seen leaving another establishment in the company of a man. Did the two of them come here?
Yeah, I remember seeing her with a guy.
Did you see them leave?
They got into his old Pontiac. Dull brown color. I got to look at the license plate. 2B8899.
Dice la verdad, yo creo que sí.
You have a name? Description, maybe? Come on, Mr. Nesco. We need something more to go on.
Smallish guy. Maybe 5'7". Dark complexion. Latin looking.
Varón hispano.
What time did the two of them leave?
Around 2 a.m. They were talking pretty loud. She had a black eye. Said her husband gave it to her. Said she was going to have him committed.
Was she a regular in here?
No. I mean, I wouldn't have recognized her face among the usual crowd.
Was the place busy last night?
Sure was.
So how come you paid so much attention to her?
She had something. For an older broad, I mean. Not good looking, but vivacious, full of life. I've always found that kind good in a sack. I was thinking about trying my luck, but that guy she was with had her wrapped up tight.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Nesco. Thanks for your time.
Not bad, not bad.
That's one heck of a Sunday.
Vamos a llamar.
2 club sandwiches. Thank you, waitress.
Where's that goddamn waitress?
Haven't I given you enough already?
I can't decide between the tuna fish and the chicken.
Operator, give me R&I.
Putting you through now.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need a registered owner on a license plate, 2boy8899.
Yes, Detective. The plate belongs to a brown 1936 Pontiac. Registered owner is one Alonzo Mendez of 402 South Fremont Street, apartment 16.
Thanks. Any other messages?
One, Detective.
Mendez.
From Captain Donnelly. He wants any and all suspects returned to Central. Interviews to be set up immediately.
Got it. We're coming in.
Interroga
Thanks,
Jacob Henry. Entonces,
Sam's taking me out of Palm Springs.
vamos a interrogar primero, ¿no?
Where the hell's he going with that?
Look, Pops, just hand over the money, okay?
All right, young fellow, okay. Hold your horses. I'm getting the money.
I ain't afraid to drill you, you know.
Hey, careful with that trigger finger now. You look the nervous type.
Plug the old bastard, Lefty. If I gotta come in there, I'm spraying lead, you old coot.
LAPD, drop the weapon!
Facilito, no, que andan weando los pendejos estos que se creen. Este weón tiene un parecido a Guayna, ¿no? El cantante. O el video.
Don't you worry, officer. Take more than punks like that to rattle me. You can get going.
Apenas se mueve el tronco, ya. Este no es, pues, no sé.
You can drive. And where exactly are we going?
A la comisaría, ¿no? Vamos a interrogar primero, bueno. Sí.
Food wasn't great, but you're real nice.
KTI radio. Mendez could be our man.
He could be at that, but you don't want to cross the skipper, Phelps. Not a great move in your first day. He wants
interrogarlo primero.
How'd you like losing your cherry, rookie?
It might be my first day here, but I've had extensive experience on other desks in the department. I think you're aware of that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've been a pain in the ass before today as well.
And I shall continue to be until the end of time.
Para que te quede claro, viejo fanfarrón. $51.
We have a firm lead, Captain.
Are you questioning my judgment call, Phelps?
No, sir.
Good. I thought not. Jacob Henry is a sub-sister pushed around by his wife. I think with the right kind of persuasion, he might be prepared to seek absolution. Are you prepared to show him the error of his ways, young Phelps?
I don't think he's our man. Galloway agrees with me.
Don't drag me into this.
Rusty is a practical policeman. A bird in hand is always worth two in the bush. Let's liberate a confession from poor Jacob and the public will sleep easier tonight. Run along now, Phelps. I've warmed them up nicely for you.
Hey, you think those Vice boys get any on the side?
Doesn't look good, Jacob. You're in a big jam here. You lie to me, and I can't help you out. Do you understand me?
Yes.
What do you do for work, Jacob?
I'm a mechanic. Engines, differentials, transmissions, that kind of stuff.
So you have access to tools?
Yes, I do.
Your wife was brutally beaten with a socket wrench handle, then stomped to death. How do you think that looks, Jacob?
I was home in bed.
Y estaba acostado.
You were at home in bed while your wife was putting out to some stranger? What kind of man are you, Jacob, that you allow that?
You son of a bitch. You got no right talking about my wife like that.
You did it. Everything points to you. What does Tex mean, Jacob?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I need a reason to believe you, Jacob.
You want a confession? That's what you want?
That's exactly what we want.
Seems to me there are two types of marriages. First, where the couple love each other equally and everything's roses. And then there's the other, where one person loves the other more than life itself and always puts them first. Chumps like me, who love them no matter what, no matter how badly they behave. That's it. That's my confession. I love my wife. And I'll take any test you got to prove it.
Your marriage was over. You took her in and she threw it back in your face. You didn't go over there to hurt her. It just got out of hand.
It's not how it was.
Jacob, I think she pushed you around and slapped you about. You got to like it. Big guy like you and you're a fucking pushover.
Ah, fuck you. I did my best to make it work.
Why did you break into your wife's house, Jacob? Why steal the ring?
What? What are you talking about? I've got a key. Why would I need to break in?
You took the ring because you found out who gave it to her.
What are you talking about?
Her prized garnet ring, given to her by her old boyfriend, Dick McCall.
I never knew that. I lived with that woman for 3 years, and I never knew that. Well, in that case, I think you should be talking to Dick McCall.
We'll do the detective work, lunkhead. Just answer the questions.
I don't see any way out of this unless you give us something.
Phelps, you failed me, son.
We have another lead, Captain. This guy Mendez could be our man.
I hope so, Phelps. I really hope so. I'm deeply disturbed by your
¿Qué
style.
te va a tener preocupado, viejo conche tu madre? Te reviento a combi igual a vos, weón. Buen insolente mierda, ¿no?
We can still pull down a conviction for the skipper if we chase down this Mendez guy.
Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we headed?
En mi idea se van haciendo más largos los capítulos quizá, weón. O sea, las misiones, weón. Como de asesinato, algo más complicado, weón.
Don't sound like a man I'd let my daughter anywhere near.
You've got a daughter.
Spend enough time drinking, Cole, you'll find yourself with any number of things you don't want when you're sober.
So that's why you never sober up.
Exactly.
No sé por qué la música me recordó un poco al God of War, weón. Como parecía la música, weón. Cuidados que se manchan, weón. What momento. Ah, igual sirve el control para jugar. Espera, acá. Mende, no hay ningún mende. Ah, acá está. 16.
Mendez, apartment 16.
Ya. El último debe ser obviamente, ¿no? A ver. 16, el cuarto piso. Ya.
Here, the apartment's up on the top floor.
Este es el tercero y este es el último, el cuarto.
Don't bother knocking, just kick the door in. Take a look around and see what you can find.
La misma llave.
I don't think this is going to help us. Don't think this is anything. It would take a smarter man than me to connect that. Optimistic, Cole. Seems irrelevant.
A ver qué tenemos acá. Se escapó recién, weón. Mira.
Not sure this means much.
Oh, que no.
Ray. Size 8s could help place Mendez at the scene.
Y esta cochina. Ya, este weón es, obviamente. Bueno.
Carruthers could match the color and brand of the body. Consistent with Celine's injuries, and the blood can be typed.
We have the murder weapon. We better get Pinker down here.
Why keep it? Why not throw it away?
Think these clowns are geniuses? Thank your stars you caught a break, and Captain Donald will begin to like you.
Hey, what gives? LAPD, you're under arrest.
Do not lose that son of a bitch. I'll go get our wheels.
Mendez, stop right there.
Hijo de la perra, laica.
You don't need to do this, Alonzo.
Get in and drive.
No, pero no te crucis, weón.
I got an idea. Get him next to my window, Cole. Keep me alongside his vehicle, and I'll stop the son of a bitch. Hit him, Cole. Spit him out. Now is not the time to play around, Phelps. Hit him. Clean this asshole off the road.
Toma, chuchito, man.
You're under arrest for the murder of Celine Henry.
Show me your hands.
Qué bueno, weón. 1 hora, conchetumare.
I ain't saying a goddamn thing.
You did a grand job, lads. Phelps, that's quite a way to acquit yourself in your first outing as a homicide investigator. It seems the city has a new and vengeful guardian. Considering the evidence against your suspect, and the thoroughness with which a report was compiled, I foresee a safe passage through the court,
Heterofilia, el
and the
culiao
DA
ahora,
agrees
weón.
with me. Brutality on a scale such as this deserves retribution. The people and the press of this city demand it.
Muy maricón, weón. Qué viejo de mierda, weón. Golden Boy. Caso cerrado. Pistas encontradas. 19 de 19. Preguntas correctas. 7 de 13. Tengo que seguir mejorando. Pero bueno. Bueno, gente. Nos vemos en la siguiente edición de NOIRE. Seguimos avanzando como detective. Ya vamos en el área de homicidios. Y bueno, espero que les haya gustado. Si es así, no olviden de suscribirse, darle me gusta, comentar si quieren, cualquier weá, ¿no? Cualquier aporte. Y seguirme en Twitch, que transmito de lunes a viernes por lo general. Uno que otro día quizás no transmita porque no me da ganas o no tengo tiempo. Pero eso, espero que les haya gustado. Nos vemos en la siguiente. Chao, chao.